Hello everybody, how's it going? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's having a fantastic December and to an end to 2023. And I thought I would end 2023 with going over my top 10 trails that I have done this past year. And so I have a list, and I'll name my favorite ones. And down in the comments, if you want to list some of your favorites from what you've seen me do, and maybe even some places you want me to go to that I can check out in 2024. So without further ado, here is my top 10 ranked trails. All right, we're going to start off with number 10 and work our way to number 1. So number 10 is the Tay River Pathway in Perth, Ontario. Really, really beautiful spot. When you go out to the end of the trail, there's a lookout. It's a very beautiful view of the Tay River, and it's a very nice community trail. It's right behind some seniors' residence homes. It's right next to the Lanark County building in Perth if you're going towards the vet clinic. And it's a very short pathway. It's only about 1 kilometer long in total, and it's a great spot for running through nice and quick. All right, at number 9, we have the workout and exercise trail on the Narrows Locks Road. It's something different, something I didn't know existed really. I didn't know that you could go out and get outdoor exercise equipment that can be outside all year round. When I was there, I saw an older couple. They probably were in their 70s, and they were out using all the exercise equipment. So I totally recommend going out there and checking it out, of course. Not in the winter time, it's probably closed for the winter, but an absolutely beautiful spot. It's right in this very young forest, and you walk a little bit, there's a piece of equipment, you use it, you keep walking, there's another piece of equipment, you use it, that kind of thing, all the way around the trail. I don't think it's more than 1 kilometer long, but the whole point is going and working out and exercising. At number 8, I have the Motts Mills Conservation Area in Motts Mills, Ontario. It's just about 5-10 minutes away from Toledo, Ontario, if you're going towards Brockville. And that's the shortest trail that I've ever done. It's only about 200 meters long, but when you go in, there's a very beautiful little river that you can sit down at a bench and just watch the birds fly around. There's so many birds in that little tiny area, and the view of the river is just amazing as well. And you can also walk down a little bit towards a little bit of a forest, and there's a bog and marshy area, and there's a whole area. The whole area, is great for conserving all the wildlife that live in that marsh. At number 7, I have the Tay River Trail in Perth, Ontario. There's lots of history on the Tay River Trail to learn about, and great views of local landmarks. For example, the Perth Water Tower is right there at the beginning. You can start over at the Rainbow Bridge. It's a huge red bridge, absolutely beautiful. And so each time you stop at an information spot, it tells you about what's going on around the area, like Stewart Park, the Water Tower, the Haggart Dam, and it takes you all the way down to Last Dual Park. And you walk downtown Perth. I always love coming to Perth. It's very beautiful in downtown Perth, no matter what season it is. There's always something going on in Perth, and there's so much history to learn about in Perth as well. So I highly recommend checking out the Tay River Trail in Perth. At number 6, I have the Mill of Kintail. It's one of the 7 wonders of Lanark County, and it's just out towards Almonte, Ontario. Kind of in between Almonte and Pakenham, that kind of area. Lots of history there as well. I always love going on trails and learning about the history that's there, and just taking in the beautiful scenery. Because when you go down to start the trails, there's a picnic area. There's an area where they have this hugging tree, where you can just go and hug a tree if you just want to, relax and love nature. and they have the old Mott's Mill, not Mott's Mill, Mill of Kintail, Mill of Kintail. The building, it's been turned into a history museum, and there's lots to learn about in there. I didn't have time really to go over a lot of the stuff in the museum, but it's right on the water. You can go over a bridge and get a great view of the Mill of Kintail. All right, we're halfway through. At number 5, I went out to Moncton, New Brunswick, back at the beginning of November, and I did a whole bunch of stuff out there. So at number 5, I have the Moncton Riverfront Trail. The reason why I love this one is because of the color of the water. Now, the East Coast is famous, absolutely famous, for having a dark red dirt and rock out there. So the water changes to a chocolatey brown color, which gives it the nickname of the Chocolate River. And you know, the view will change depending on the tide. So when I went there, it was at low tide, so the river was really empty. And at certain times of day, the tide will rise and it'll be super full. It would look like a totally different area. And there's over 5 kilometers of trail and a boardwalk out there as well. At number 4, I have Fundy National Park, again in New Brunswick. I had a really great time out there. There's a lookout that you can go to at Fundy National Park. I did about 4 different videos that you can go check out. There's the Caribou Trail, the Pollinator Garden, Alma Beach, and I also did the Kinney Brook Trail. Again, going to this place, there's so many different landscapes that you can check out down at the beach. It's all flat. I went to the beach when the tide was out, so I walked about, 500 meters out into the Bay of Fundy, and that was a really cool experience. Whenever I was in New Brunswick, I always seemed to go when the tide was low. So I got really great views of when the tide was low, because it's not every day that you can walk out into the middle of a huge bay when there's no water. And Kinney Brook Trail at Fundy National Park, also super amazing. You walk down, it's about 2 kilometers of a trail, almost 3 kilometers, and you walk down to this area where there's this brook called Kinney Brook, and sometimes, depending on what time of year you go, there's not even any water there. So the brook runs underneath the water. So if there's been a lot of snow melt or a lot of rain, you'll see the brook go over on land instead of being underground. Let's see here. At number 3, I have the Gananoque Trail. Again, I did 4 videos in Gananoque to celebrate my 50th trail. And I had a really great day. So I did the Rogers Loop, the Lions Loop, and the River Loop. And I also did the waterfront and Joel Stone Heritage Park. Really great spot there. They have this lifesaver kind of stand that you can go get photos at and use the hashtag #ILoveGananoque. And there was also McLean Park that had just been donated recently to the town of Gananoque by the McLean family. So people like me can go out and just enjoy nature, and that whole area will be preserved. So thank you to the McLean family for donating that piece of land. Absolutely incredible. We need more people that will be willing to conserve areas for the future generations. At number 2, going back to New Brunswick, the Cape Germain National Wildlife Area. One of my absolute favorite places that I've ever seen. It's the first exit. It's the last exit before you get to the Confederation Bridge to go over to Prince Edward Island. And when you go to the National Wildlife Area, there's always, no matter where you go in Canada for the National Wildlife Areas, they have a map of all the National Wildlife Areas in Canada, and there's always something to learn about as soon as you get to the entrance. And so there's 2 trails at the Cape Germain National Wildlife Area. The first one that I did went off towards the lighthouse. I love lighthouses. I'm a sucker for them. This one was absolutely beautiful, and it had moved 4 times in its history. So I recommend going to check out that video. the Cape Germain National Wildlife Area Lighthouse. And then my second part of that trip out there, I was able to walk under the Confederation Bridge, which was a really awesome experience. I had no idea that you could do that. So when I figured out that you could go and walk underneath it, I got some great photos. So I highly recommend checking out that video as well. All right, so I'm going to just name some honorable mentions before we get to our number one pick. So when I was in New Brunswick, I also went to Kouchibouguac National Park. I had never seen anything like that place before. They have a bog there and this lookout that you can walk up. It's 7 meters high, and you can walk up and take a look at the bog. As far as the eye can see, it's just flat. When you start that trail, you start out in the middle of a forest, and then you walk out to nothing. Absolutely beautiful. Depending what time of year you go, what time of day you go, you might even be able to see a moose in there. Another honorable mention, I have to say, was the Eagle's Nest Lookout in Calabogie, Ontario. Absolutely beautiful view, and I really loved how that whole area paid homage and honors the Indigenous peoples of Canada and their beliefs and everything that they stand for, and the view. It's just amazing. All right, my number one pick for the top 10 trails of 2023, Blueberry Mountain out in Lanark Highlands, Ontario. My favorite view of 2023 by far. When I got there, my reaction was priceless. I don't think I've reacted to anything like that ever. The view is stunning. I think the reason why I reacted the way I did was because this place will be preserved for 1,000 years. They started a land trust back in 2009, and no one can touch that area until the year 3009. It's just amazing that that whole area has been put into a land trust for future generations to go out and enjoy. I recommend checking out my video of Blueberry Mountain and even going out there yourself. They're open, I believe, until November. So, and they even have a guest book where you can sign in and leave comments about your experience at Blueberry Mountain. Okay, so that is it, my top 10 trails of 2023. I just want to thank every single one of you for following me along and coming out to all these different places that I enjoyed this past year. And stay tuned, because there will be lots to see in 2024. I'm going to go and go back out to some national wildlife areas. I'm going to go and check out some places that you may not expect me to check out. So stay tuned for that. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. No matter what you celebrate, I hope you have a great holiday season. Thanks for coming with me, and I will see you at the next one.